بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The Magal Touba, as I told, is a day for thanking God, also Muslim of the world. I'm not talking about Senegalese, I'm not talking about Africans. I've said that Muslims of the world thank God during that day. God is one, God is alone, God is almighty, and God has chosen human being, mankind, in all of its creature. God has sent a purpose to mankind since the beginning of the world. Our ancestor Adam is the first prophet, and after him, God has sent others like Noah, like Abraham, like Musa, like Jesus, like the last is Muhammad. But before Muhammad, you have Edis, you have Elias, you have Job, you have Ismail, you have Isaac, you have Joseph, you have a lot of, Exactly. God has every time chosen human being in its creature, saying that yes, if you want to go back to paradise where your ancestor came, you have to do good things in this world. You have to. That is. And since then, human beings are doing good things. There are some human beings who are in the good way, others are in the bad way. And every prophet God has sent in his community had enemies, and that's God himself who's chosen that thing, It's his manner to lead his messages, his prophets, yes. And the last prophet Muhammad also in his Mecca's community had a lot of enemies, those who were persecuting Muslims, yes. After the death of Muhammad and the expansion of Islam came in Africa and then in Europe. Yes, in Europe, I've said that there was a battle, the Poitiers battle. In the Poitiers battle, Muslims has lost, and European states, a lot of them became Christians. Yes, and after then we have colonialism, and that Europeans themselves came to Africa, said that now it's time to colonize Africa, to Christianize Africa, and to throw Islam out of Africa. That's what France said. And when Canada came in Senegal, they found a country, a Muslim country, I can say. A lot of Senegalese were Muslim at that time. We have those who was trusting in African religions, but the majority of Senegalese people were Muslim. And at the time, French Catholic said that if you want to stay long in Senegal, we have to stop Islamic first. Second, we have to pacify the country. To stop every Senegalese people who wanna rise. That was their objective, And I said that in 1885 in Senegal, in the center of Senegal, a village was founded. The name is Touba, by Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, who after that, will be sent in exile by French colonialists, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, who founded the Mouridism community, yes. French was against Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba doesn't choose to be the enemy of French. French has taken Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba as their enemies because they said that Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba has a lot of fool, has a lot of disciples, and if we don't stop him, tomorrow we'll be back. And that's sure. And then they began to do conspiration. What we have to do for putting Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba out of Senegal? Yes, the governor fed up began to lie. They said now Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, we can say he's preparing war. His disciples will get guns and then will fight against us. And in that base, they said now we have to put Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba out of Senegal. That's what they decided in Saint-Louis of Senegal. That the governor fed up said, here is my country, here is my land, and I'm the owner of this town, of this country. And Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba said to the French that you are lying, everything that you do is lying. I'm not preparing war. Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba had his Quran, had his Satala, and had his Sijada. That is, And at the time, French were lying just because they wanted to exile him. That's why they decided themselves. Said that now we have to exile Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba out of Senegal, and then they bring him in Dakar, and then put him in a boat to Gabon. Yes, at the time, they were taken the seaway. At the time, there was no plane. So Ahmadou Bamba went to Gabon by sea. Yes, before taking him to Gabon, they were torturing him. French colonial army, if every time they want to punish someone, they torture him. Yes, bringing him nearly the death situation and say, now you can go. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, they did that. Torturing him, different manner of torturing. And, they bring him in Gabon, and 8 years after Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba was back in Senegal. That day was Safar 1330. And Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba has chosen himself that day to thank God, because what his enemies wanted wasn't. What his enemy wanted? They wanted to put him out of his country. They weren't able. They wanted to kill him out of his people, out of his country. They weren't able. And they were obliged to bring him. And, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba has chosen that day to thank God and said to us, his community, that every year, every time, help me to thank God who's alone, who's almighty, who's helped me everywhere that I was. And, that is the most important thing for us, more reason for us who are disciples of Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba to do what he wants. Or what Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba wants is every year, every Safar 18, we come in his city, Touba, to pray God, to thank God, to read Quran, to read his poems, to do zikr, to do what we can, and to cook a lot of meals and give it to our host. That's very important in the Moridism community. Yes, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba's life wasn't easy, but God is almighty, and God every time has helped him. And that's what we have to know, what we have to commemorate, to remember every year.